Hey guys, glad to have you back here. And in today's class, I'm going to show you one of the most powerful trading strategies that you can use with your phone. All right. Now, if you're using your phone to trade, this is one of the most simple trading strategies you can ever find. All right. Now, I've taught it before, but I'm going to just show you again. We'll be using Bitcoin. Of course, you can use any crypto you like. All right. This works well for both spot and futures. So this trading strategy is on the use of Bollinger Bands. If you have been following me a lot, you find that I've talked a lot of things. I've said a lot of things about Bollinger Bands. So just come to your Bollinger Bands here where you find BOLL and you touch it. All right. It is going to automatically grab your screen. Now I'm going to just do a short review of Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Band is a strategy that has three sides: the upper band, the middle band, and the lower band. All right. Now, what you're going to be looking out for is the Bollinger Band squeeze. And I'll quickly show you how to use the Bollinger Band squeeze. Now, of course, you can use this on any time frame, but we'll be using the 1 hour time frame because it's going to help us see a lot of strategies. So I'm going to pinch my screen like this. Once you pinch your screen, if you expand your screen, this is what it looks like. If you pinch your screen, this is what it looks like. So pinching your screen helps you find the best squeeze. Now just be moving your phone screen like this. Let's look out for past examples, okay, of the Bollinger Band squeeze. Now this is an example of the Bollinger Band squeeze. A squeeze is where you find where you find something like this happening. You can see where the band is squeezing. If you look out for this kind of place, this place is not a squeeze because the band is volatile. But here is a squeeze because the lower band and upper band are squeezing so well. All right. Now when you find a squeeze, it's either the price is about to go up or down, but you don't know. All right. Now you can see after this squeeze, the price went up. But how do you know the price is about to go up? If you find the squeeze, you cannot tell if it's going to go up or down. But in today's class, I'll show you how you can find that the price is going to go a certain way so you can buy at the point of the squeeze and sell at a very good price. All right. So what you're going to do is to zoom into the squeeze. Now, once you have zoomed into the squeeze, the only thing you are going to use to confirm this squeeze. Now I'm going to teach you something. Okay. First of all, before I show you how to confirm the squeeze, this is what I want to teach you. You see this thing that looks like a tail. Let me take out this the Bollinger Band. You can see this red candle has a long tail. Whenever you find a candle that has a long tail, it means the buyers are pushing the price up. So when you find a candle that has a long tail, it means buyers are pushing the price up. When you find a candle that has a long head, okay, long head, it means sellers are trying to sell and make the price go down. So obviously what you're going to be looking out for your Bollinger Band is a green candle that has the longest tail. A green candle that has the longest tail. Look out for your Bollinger Band and find a green candle that has the longest tail, and the tail should be longer than the last 2 or 3 tails. So I'm going to put in my Bollinger Band again. So this is where we found the squeeze. So now you don't know where the price is moving, but you can see the price at this place. The price started climbing, indecisive, and started going up. Okay, but we cannot enter the price. You cannot enter a position now. You cannot buy now. We need to find, since you see that it's going up, we need to confirm this uptrend by looking out for a green candle that has the longest tail, at least longer than the last 2. So zoom in. We're looking for a green candle that has the longest tail. Now wait for a breakout, which means wait for the price to break out of the upper band. So the price has broken out of the upper band, but we have not still found a green candle that has the longest tail. So here is a green candle that has a longer tail, longer than the last 2 tails. You can see, if you measure it very well, you can see it is longer than this one. The tail is longer than this one, longer than this one, and longer than this one. When you find that kind of tail, it means that you are authorized to enter a buy trade, and you'd have entered there, and you can see the price would have gone up. Okay, now I'm going to show you other occurrences. Remember, I told you to pinch your screen, scroll down, and scroll sideways to look out for signals. So this is another place where the band was shrinking. So the band is shrinking here, but we don't know where the price is going to go. Of course, the price went down, but how did we know that the price will go down? Okay. Now, first of all, I mentioned that you must look for a place where the band is shrinking. This is a very, very, very good sign that the band is shrinking. So let's look out for uh how we would have known that this is a downtrend. So, like I mentioned, since you are watching the band, you can see that the band is now going towards the downside, first of all, and it has broken out on the down. Wait for a breakout. Once you see that the band has broken out, okay, don't enter yet. Now, since you see that it's printing red, look out for a red candle, which is because it's showing you that it's likely going down. Look out for a red candle that has the longest head, which means sellers are selling. So if you zoom in, you find the red candle that has the longest head was this one. It means sellers are pushing the price down. Make sure the head is longer than the last three heads. For example, that head is longer than this one, two, and three. You would have entered your trade. It can be longer than the last two or three. All right. You'd have entered your trade, and of course, if you pinch it again, you find that that was a very nice place. You'd have entered your short trade. People who trade short futures would have entered here and left the market around this area. Okay. Now, when to leave the market is totally up to you. On that class, I'll show you about stop losses. I just believe that you can leave the market when you find a big green candle, at least bigger than the last one, which is likely this guy. Okay. But before then, you'd have earned a lot of profits. Now, let's pinch our screen and look at from that place where the band was squeezing. Good. I know you can guess correctly. Correct. You found that the band was squeezing around this area. Okay, this is with your phone and this is on Bybit. Now, go into the band, enter inside. Now you can see that we don't at this point we only know that the band is squeezing, but we don't know where it's going to. But when you watch closely, you can see the price is now coming towards the down or the lower band. Now, like I told you, when you find that it's coming toward the lower band, you look out for a red candle that has the longest head, at least longer than the last two heads. Okay, so let me zoom in again. A red candle that has the longest head. So you can see this guy has a long head, but it is not longer than this one or and this one. All right, so you're going to wait for it, wait for proper confirmation to enter the trade. So the only place where you found a red candle, you can see this one was not a sign to enter, not a sign to enter, not a sign to enter. This was the correct sign. This is where we find the candle to enter. Okay, and if you would have entered here, you can see would have entered here because this guy was a red candle that has the longest head, and it is longer than one, two, three. Understand? So if I pinch in, you'd have seen that you'd have entered your short trade here. And of course, your profit will not be much, but then this is a good sign that you'd have entered a lower, a downtrend. Okay. Now let's go into other areas. So here, this was another slim band. If you can see closely, you can see that this is a slim band. Okay. Now I mentioned that for slim bands, you're looking for green candles that have the longest tail. Okay. So this one broke out and none of them had long tail. So just leave it. Don't worry, you're going to find other ones. It's better to be correct than not to be correct. Okay. So come here. If you look at it from here already, is a slim band. So come inside. So you can see already this guy is already coming down to the red side. So you're looking for a red candle that has the longest head. So this guy has the longest head, longer than the last three. So it is, you can see one, two, three is longer than them. So that is why we entered a short trade. Okay, you can enter a short trade from there, and of course you would have grabbed some actual profit here. That is going to be nice for you if you are doing shorts. Here is another slim band here again. Now, remember I told you when you find a slim band, you're waiting for where the price is going to. Of course, From here, you have seen that the price is now tending to go down. Like I mentioned, look out for a red candle that has the longest head, which means where buyers are pushing to sell. So this guy is long, but it is not longer than the last three. Okay, it's slightly longer than the last three or two one. This guy is long and is longer than this one and this one. So would have entered at that point. So even if you don't enter at that point, you can still find further places you have entered this trade. You can see you would have still entered from more definitive places, like you would have still entered from here because this guy is longer than this one and this one. You understand? So that is how we have entered this downtrend. All right. Now you can still go further. Let's look at for other strategies. This one is this guy is slim, so let's look inside. Okay. We have looked inside, looking for a longer head. So this was where we would have entered that trade from. This is where we would have entered the trade from because this guy head is longer than 1 2. Okay, and guess what? Would have enjoyed a good downtrend from that position. Okay, that is how you enter a downtrend. So let's look out for one or two more strategies before we call it a day. I'm going to pinch your screen so you can find them very, very well. We're looking for alpha where the band is squeezing good. You can see a proper squeeze here. So zoom into the squeeze and we're looking out for, you can now see that the candle is becoming red and coming towards the downside. So you find a breakout first, then look out for a candle that has the longest head, longer than the past two or three heads. This guy has the longest head. You can see it here. Let me show you the head properly. This guy has the longest head, longer than 1 and 2. So would have entered from that place, and guys, the profit would have been massive because would have entered into this place and of course collected our profit. For people who are doing futures, would have entered a short trade. All right. Now let's go further. Let's look out for one more, one more, one more, one more. Yeah, you can see this one is slim, but let's just ignore it and go to, okay, let's use this one as our last for today. This guy is slim, so wait for it to be, just wait for the price to break out. Don't just select from the, don't see. Let me tell you one secret. The mistake people make is to start selecting from here. Don't look at these candles. Wait for it patiently to start breaking out downward or upwards. Now, once that's broken out downwards, you can see, once that's broken out downwards, you can now see that this guy was the one that has the longest head, longer than 1 and 2. Okay, and you'd have entered the down trade from there. Okay, but let me just do one more before we call it a day. Let me do one more before we call it a day. Okay, this guy is an uptrend. Let's look out for this uptrend guy. So this one, the only place where we can confirm this uptrend was here. Okay, here, this candle has a long tail, longer than the last two tails. You can see longer than the last two tails, and that was a confirmed uptrend that would have entered. Okay, so that will be the end of this class, guys. And of course, I know that by this time you would have learned how to identify um, Bollinger bands with your phone. Bollinger bands that's going to be very profiting with your phone. So let's do this last one, guys. Forgive me, this last one, last one. It is so interesting, and of course, I'm so happy that you can do it with your phone. So, like I'll use this as the last example for today. So, like I always said, once you have squeezed your phone, squeeze your screen, you'll find it. You'll be able to find the proper squeeze. This is a proper squeeze. The next step is to zoom into the squeeze and see what is happening. Be patient, don't rush. Now, once you have seen that it's printing green, green, green candles and coming to the top, you're looking out for where the buyers are buying. The candle that has the longest tail, longer than the last two tails or last three tails, that is where you enter from, which means you are entering into this trade from this guy and would have entered into that place and goodness would have made a massive, massive profit because you'd have entered from this place very, very early and you'd have enjoyed all of this whole trend. So guys, I'm going to leave you to spot this completely by yourself. And of course, tell me what you know about the strategy down below. If there are other ways you can do it better, or if there are other ways you can make your confirmations better, let us know down in the comment section. I'm going to leave you here, guys, and do have a very wonderful day. Give this video a like if you want stuffs like this. All right. See you on another one tomorrow.